Okay, picture this. You're sitting in a tense, hyper-realistic boardroom. The air is thick. You know the feeling, right? You've been preparing this high-stakes sales pitch for literally weeks. You've got all your data, your context, you've built this beautiful narrative. So you start your presentation. But just 3 minutes in, the fast-paced client sitting right across from you aggressively checks their watch, sighs, and just cuts you off with, "Can we just get to the bottom line?" Your heart sinks. You're losing them, and you don't even know why. Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to fix exactly that. All right, let's dive into this. We've all been there. You walk away from a lost deal or a fractured professional relationship, just shaking your head thinking, man, that client was way too pushy, too impatient, or just totally unreasonable. But what if the problem wasn't their attitude at all? And what if the problem definitely wasn't your effort? What if that universal pain point of losing a sale due to a sudden, jarring disconnect actually comes down to something entirely different? See, it's not about bad intentions. It's about unrecognized personality differences that are just silently breaking trust right there in the room. Because here's the core thesis we're looking at today. Intent simply does not equal impact. Think about it. You can intend to be incredibly helpful, thorough, and patient. You genuinely want to give them all the context so they feel secure in their decision. But the impact on them? They're experiencing your thoroughness as totally inefficient, dismissive of their valuable time, and agonizingly slow. You're basically communicating on the exact frequency you prefer while completely missing the dial they're tuned into. So, to solve this, here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the high-stakes sales disconnect. Second, we'll meet the dominant D. Third, we'll introduce the GLOW method. Fourth, operating under pressure. And finally, number 5, winning the connection. All right, starting right off with Section 1, the high-stakes sales disconnect. To really unpack this, we're turning to the expertise of Angel Tucker. Angel is a certified speaking professional with nearly 30 years of personality-based communication experience under her belt. She's the creator of the GLOW connection method, which is this incredible proprietary framework used to train sales teams and leaders to build trust in real time. Her foundational rule is an absolute game changer. Communication problems are rarely caused by a bad attitude. They're almost always caused by a different wiring. Moving right along to Section 2, meet the dominant D. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we can completely reframe the behavior of that impatient person sitting across from you. A dominant D personality in the DISC model is naturally assertive, decisive, and ambitious. Their outward behavior, it's super direct, extremely fast-paced, and intensely goal-oriented. Now, we usually misinterpret this as them being pushy or insensitive, right? But look at their internal motivation. They are purely driven by results, progress, and movement. They are simply trying to reduce uncertainty through immediate action. They aren't attacking you, they're attacking the problem. Seriously, if you're dealing with a dominant D, these quotes are practically their internal soundtrack playing on repeat. What's the issue? What's the goal? What's the fastest way forward? Dominant D personalities view the world as a place where challenges exist solely to be solved, and solved immediately. To them, time literally is money, which means they physically struggle with patience when a conversation gets bogged down in heavy details without a clear, immediate direction. Which brings us to Section 3. Enter the GLOW method. Let's see how this builds across 4 tactical steps. It's an acronym, GLOW. Step 1 is gain awareness. Step 2 is lock on. Step 3 is operate accordingly. And step 4 is win the connection. It's a systematic way to shift your focus entirely away from your own presentation style and onto what the other person needs in the exact moment they need it. Breaking that down, step 1 is gaining awareness. This means consciously reading the room before you react to the tension. Remember, personality always leaves clues. A dominant D is going to have a fast speaking pace. They'll ask about results right out of the gate. If you shook their hand, it was probably firm, confident, and quick. They might have even stepped into your space a little bit. And visually, they often dress for function and authority. Gaining awareness is all about observing these specific patterns so you can accurately read the client instead of jumping to an emotional judgment that they're just being rude. Step 2 is L, lock on. So the absolute crucial point here is this. People resist connecting when their core needs are ignored. If you don't lock on to a dominant D's core need for efficiency, they will mentally check out of your pitch entirely. You've got to realize that right now, in that boardroom, this client desperately needs clarity, direction, and progress. Bottom line, they want your conclusions way before your context. That takes us right into Section 4, operating under pressure.
And this right here brilliantly illustrates the pivot you have to make. Let's go back to that boardroom. The client checks their watch. The deal is slipping. This is the moment you pivot. Operating accordingly means intentionally adjusting your pace, your structure, and your emphasis on the fly. Instead of the wrong way, dragging out long background stories, using emotional framing, keeping a slow pace, you immediately speed up, you restructure your presentation to lead with the outcomes, and you emphasize your bottom line recommendations first. You're actually giving them the exact structure they need to feel safe and respected.
Actually, if you ever freeze up in that moment, just use this exact actionable script. I know you prefer the bottom line, so I'll give you a summary. Honestly, it's like magic. It signals profound respect for the client's time and their natural wiring. You aren't changing your data or compromising your product. You're simply choosing to be multilingual in personality types. You're delivering the message in a way that can actually receive it, which instantly drops the friction in the room. And finally, Section 5, winning the connection. So, what does it actually mean to win the connection? It means creating an interaction where both people feel understood, respected, and totally willing to move forward with trust intact. A true win, using the GLOW method, isn't about dominating the conversation, and it isn't even just about forcing a quick signature on a contract. It's about establishing long-term mutual trust simply because the client felt that you truly respected how they process the world. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If intent truly does not equal impact, what is your current communication style actually costing you? Think about it. How many deals, relationships, or huge opportunities have slipped away simply because you communicated the way you wanted to, rather than locking on to what the other person needed? Start paying attention to the clues around you. When you master intentional connection, it's absolutely wild to watch how it transforms your results.